Let's observe silence for a few minutes. Om Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 7. We'll chant from verse 15 to 20.
नमां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः माययापहृतज्ञानाः आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां जनाः सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्तः एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रियः उदाराः सर्व एवैते ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम् आस्थितः स हि युक्तात्मा मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम् बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वमिति समहात्मा सुदुर्लभः कामैस्तैस्तैर्हृतज्ञानाः प्रपद्यन्तेऽन्यदेवताः तं तं नियममास्थाय प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया
Currently, we are studying the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Jnana Vijnana Yoga, the yoga of knowledge and wisdom. And we are on the third topic of this chapter. The Vishas do not know or seek Brahman, Brahman meaning supreme reality. Verse number 12 to 15. And last week we covered verse 12, 13, and 14.
Yes, Samitji.
So 15 was not mentioned at all, right?
Briefly, you talked about it.
but it was not chanted and all that.
No, Amity.
Okay. So just to recap the main concept in this topic, see, we saw that graph of refraction of light. So it is an experiment from physics. When the colorless light, beam of light, it passes through a glass prism, it splits into 7 colors. So light has no color, or you can say white light. The beam of light is only white. But when it passes through prism, comes in contact with the prism, glass prism, on the right side you get 7 colors. So that's the experiment we talked about. So what do we learn from that experiment in physics is very interesting. I'm just recapping, it was already covered. That Brahman or supreme reality is all pervading. There is no duality, there is only oneness. Brahman alone exists. But when it comes in contact with your vasanas, my vasanas, anybody's vasanas, you and I experience a pluralistic world of objects and beings where there is no world, where there is only one principle, there is only one supreme reality. But when it comes in contact with vasanas, your desires, as it were, you and I project a solid seeming pluralistic world, which is made up of objects and beings, which we all are experiencing. And we are completely caught up in that world as per our nature. That was the second point. A sattvic person is caught up in a good way, but still he or she is caught up. Rajasic person is totally involved, affected. Tamasic person is caught up in a heedless way. So we all are caught up. So due to this, we completely miss the supreme reality, which is our original nature, which is a substratum of our personality, which is a substratum of the whole universe. And though it is an illusion, it is not easy to deal with that illusion because we are caught up in it. So we always give example of a rope and a snake, and we'll keep on mentioning this example from time to time. If you master that example, this concept is a breeze. It's no big deal. So where there is a rope, boy misunderstands that rope for a snake. You and I don't see the snake. You and I are seeing a rope. So we have no problem. But for a boy who did not understand rope as a rope, he misunderstood that rope as a snake. So he is completely caught up in that. There is no way you can give him relief, you know. I mean, it's what? There is no snake actually, you know, it's an illusion. It is Maya. He is not going to understand that as long as he is seeing the snake. The moment he understands that snake is nothing but a rope, where is snake? Snake is gone. So what was snake? Snake was an illusion. So the word they use is Maya. So similarly, you and I are caught up in this world. How it is created, we already explained that, the prism example. But for us, it is very much real. Though it is an illusion, it is not an illusion for you and me. It is an world is an illusion for people who have crossed over that illusion. Just as snake is not an illusion for a boy who is seeing the snake. So similarly, world is an illusion, but not for us. It is real. This is what they are telling us. So the word they use is Maya. Maya means not that. So is world real? Not that. is world unreal? You can't say that, because you and I are experiencing that. Is it partly real? Is it partly unreal? Reality and reality, they cannot coexist. So what is it? It is Maya. So that's the peculiar thing about any illusion, that as long as you are experiencing that illusion, for you it is real. But once you cross over that illusion, you understand that there was no snake, there was no world. And then in verse number 14, he's saying, it is difficult to cross over this illusion. Verily, this divine illusion of mind, divine because the substratum of the world is divinity, is difficult to cross over. Those who seek me alone cross over this illusion. So why it is difficult to cross over? It was explained. I'm just recapping, because we are completely entangled in the world. That's the problem. And since you are completely entangled in the world to begin with, and also your intellect is weak, mind has overpowered your personality in all aspects of your life. So mind gets completely entangled, it gets attached to whatever it contacts. So the problem becomes more pronounced. And since intellect is weak, mind has already overpowered your personality, you don't have that calmness, calm mind to study and reflect on the scriptures which talk about this theme. So therefore, he is saying it is very difficult to cross over this illusion. Tremendous efforts are required, which you cannot put at this moment. It's not that you're not putting zero efforts, but some efforts are better than no efforts. So how you should understand such concepts? To begin with, you need knowledge of higher values. This is what we are studying in Bhagavad Gita or any other book which we study. So when you get this knowledge, your mind becomes relatively calm. Early morning you study, reflect, slowly mind becomes calm. And when your mind becomes calm, relatively speaking, we are talking about, it becomes available for contemplation on such concepts like illusion. So you have to keep your efforts going. No need to feel dejected. He says it is difficult to cross over this illusion. I mean, of course it is. It's not a joke. But to begin with, what you need is knowledge given out in Vedanta philosophy to manage your life. That is only the beginning. That is not the end. You have to go beyond knowledge. That is where supreme reality lies. So this is what we had covered last week, verse number 12, 13, and 14. So is group okay? Any doubts? Verse number 15, please.
न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः माययापहृतज्ञानाः आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः माययापहृतज्ञानाः आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः.
Translation: the evil doers, dushkritinah, after a few verses, he is going to say Sukrutinaha, righteous people. Here he is saying Dushkrutinaha, the evildoers, the deluded. Muda means deluded, a foolish person. The lowest of men do not seek me, me meaning supreme reality. They whose wisdom is destroyed by illusion follow the ways of the demons, they live demonic life. So he is scolding us left, right, center, everybody, nobody is excluded. It's very interesting. Why is he scolding us? You must understand the psychology. If you understand the psychology, it's no big deal. Whom would you scold in life? You won't scold anybody. Are you? I'm talking about. There's a positive note in this. Which person would you scold in life? In your family, whom would you scold?
Care for.
Hmm?
People you care for.
Yeah, people you care for, but what if they are, if I say that I'm answering my own question. Yeah, you're right. People you care for, but then there is something else.
Naughty, people who are naughty or bad doers.
Okay.
What about people that are going to hurt themselves?
Sorry?
Like people that hurt themselves, like you stop someone before they got burned. Stuff.
Yes.
Whom you want to improve, Babaji, whom you want them to improve.
Who has a
So what-
potential? If somebody has no potential, I mean, you say it's a gone case. I mean, why necessarily waste time? You have two children. A child who is brilliant, he is lazy, he's wasting his time. Other guy is useless anyway. You know him. Hardly any future. But guy who is brilliant, he is wasting his time. So you scold him. I mean, what are you doing? So you scold a person who has potential. So what is our potential? What is the capacity every human being has? Your capacity is to reach the ultimate state of spiritual enlightenment. Your capacity is to cross over this illusion. No other creature can do that. Only a human being can do that. So you are born as a human being. Nobody is denied this opportunity. And what are you doing? Wasting your time, being attached to the world, caught up in the world. So therefore, he's scolding all of us to wake us up. Even if handful of people, they get a jolt, it is enough. I mean, he has done his job. So therefore, he says, evildoers. I'm going to explain what it means. I mean, you're deluded. Muda means fool. You're a foolish person. Naradamaha, lowest of low. You can't fall below this. Demonic lifestyle you're having. So any person who is caught up in an illusion and not following this knowledge is all this. Are you getting it? Any person who is entangled in the illusion which we discussed, already discussed, he is all this. So it is an effect of delusion. All these qualities, they are an effect of the delusion. So when he says Dushkrutanaha, evildoers, I think somebody's speaker is on, please mute. Evildoers, evil in the sense of mental agitations. Don't take it as unrighteous, not criminal. You could misunderstand it that way. Evil doers meaning one who is always agitated. It is a question of more or less. Everybody is agitated. And any mental agitation is evil because it is opposed to divinity. Are you getting it? any mental agitation is referred to as evil because it is opposed to divinity. Divinity is total peace, total serenity, absolute tranquility. So that's that ultimate state which is referred to as divinity. So any mental agitation is evil. And if you observe, there are people who are always agitated, always complaining, always grumbling. Doesn't matter where they are. At home, that complaining, grumbling may start. You may get best of the spouse, best of wife, best of husband. You will not get along with that person. No, he did not do that to me. She did not do that to me. So all conflicts which arise because of you don't know how to relate to your own spouse or your family members or colleague. So they are mentally disturbed because of their relationships. Work, there is something or the other issue. There is frustration. There is no money. There is no this. There is no that. Society, they have a problem. Something or the other happens. Why are you disturbed? Yesterday, a very interesting thing happened. I'm talking about like mental agitations. So I had gone to pick up groceries, just near my house, Whole Foods. And after I was done, I was about to leave, but somebody called me on the phone. So I was answering on the, I was on the phone. And somebody tapped on the window. It doesn't happen usually. So I alarmed immediately. I said, what's I totally engrossed, And then very friendly looking man, with beard and all, very benevolent personality. So I rolled down the window. He offered his hand, he shook my hands. I'm proud that you're using Tesla. This was his comment. And then for next 2-3 minutes, he cursed. I'm not getting into the details. There are you like bad language, who are not, who want to destroy Tesla, American industry and all that. We all should. I'm not getting into details. I'm not saying whether it is right or wrong. That's not. See, something happens in the society. Why are you so agitated? Hope you understand what I'm trying to convey. Weather is not good, you're complaining. So they have issues with everything in life. Evildoers. This is what we are discussing. Mentally agitated people. So they live a life of stress, worry, anxiety, frustration, conflict, and confrontation. It's a question of more or less. It's happening to everybody. So in that sense, he is using the word evildoers. Dushkrutinaha. Muda meaning a foolish person, ignorant person, deluded person. All masters are shouting this from the rooftop. You are deluded. Your original nature is peace. You have peace, and you are looking for that peace in the external world where it does not exist. This is a definition of delusion, isn't it? Foolish person. Any dreamer who is lost in a dream, he's a fool, he's deluded. His original nature is waker, he's a waker. So similarly, our nature is we belong to the fourth state. And what are we doing? When we say fourth state, meaning it's a state of peace, happiness, absolute peace, absolute happiness. We already have that. That is our original nature. That is our inherent nature. And what are we doing? Instead of trying to identify that happiness within, what are you doing? Where are you trying to find happiness?
External world.
in the external world of objects and beings. I am miserable because I don't have peace at home. You will blame your wife, or you blame your husband, you will blame your boss, you will blame your neighbor, you will blame society, you will blame everybody. Or you are trying to find happiness by that incessant craving for acquisition, enjoyment, and indulgence. You're not going to find it. So the pursuit itself is wrong to find that happiness. So therefore, he's saying deluded. So now you understand who is not deluded. It's a question of more or less. So you're deluded. You follow the ways of demons. You're demonic. Demonic meaning demonic qualities. There is no demon. A lot of people they think there is a demon. No, any person who has certain qualities, these are called as demonic qualities. In fact, chapter 16 of Bhagavad Gita talks about distinction between demonic and divine qualities. One day we'll do that chapter. What are these demonic qualities? Arrogance, ignorance, self-conceit. In modern day language, narcissist. A lot of husbands are accused of being narcissist. And they have a fight, you are a narcissist. I mean, you should be grateful to your wife. At least she is pointing it out. Wife, you won't listen. At least Krishna, you listen. Same thing he's saying. So that's self-conceit. Too much of focus on I, my, constantly. Anger, harshness, indulgence, steeped in materiality and sensuality. Life's aim is only sense gratification. Inundated with endless desires, and desires are out of control. They lead to various modifications that produces mental agitations. These are demonic qualities. So therefore he says such a person is naradamaha, lowest of men. So you sink lower and lower into this illusion because direction is wrong. And all this is happening because wisdom is destroyed by the illusion. See, that's what he's saying. They whose wisdom is destroyed by illusion follow the ways of the demons, cause and effect. Don't miss that. So all these mental agitations, frustrations, whatever is happening, because your wisdom is destroyed. Why your wisdom is destroyed? Because you do not have the knowledge of the scriptures. Therefore, you need knowledge to begin with. This is what we are doing. And then you need to put efforts to turn knowledge into wisdom through everyday study and reflection. Therefore, the chapter is called Jnana Vijnana Yoga. You get it? The yoga of knowledge and wisdom. So, what do? Stay focused on this knowledge. Whichever way you want to stay focused on this knowledge is up to you. But study class is a forum which offers you that opportunity to stay focused. It's very systematically and scientifically designed. And everybody needs that support system. So this support system is designed for your spiritual growth. So I'm not saying that is a reason you should attend if it appeals to you. If you can find systematic study support system somewhere else, please do it. But you need to stay focused on this knowledge to begin with. Extremely important. That's the purpose here. Number one. Number two, you have to be consistent in your efforts. One thing is, yes, you have understood the importance of knowledge, but you cannot be consistent. You cannot remain consistent. Why can't you remain consistent? Because world keeps on pulling you in different directions. The temptations of the world, challenges of the world, problems of the world. You need to overcome that to stay consistent in your spiritual pursuit. And for that, you need determination and commitment. Initially, it is difficult. It may sound, somebody may think, oh my God, how can I do it? Initially, it is difficult. But once you get used to it, it becomes your second nature. So many people here, I mean, I can see them on my screen, they are doing it every day. But that law of inertia, eh, that initial attempt is, initial phase is difficult. So that's the only way you can move in the right direction. So now you read the translation. The evildoers, the deluded, the lowest of men do not seek me. Meaning they are completely ignorant, that they are running after the world. That is what it means. And why are they doing that? Their wisdom is destroyed by illusion. They are caught up. And therefore they follow the ways of the demons. So very powerful verse. If you get a jolt, well and good. If you don't get a jolt, doesn't matter. Let's move on to the next verse, please. 16.
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम् जनाः सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम् जनाः सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ
O Arjuna, 4 kinds of virtuous people. Sukrutinaha. Verse number 15 was Dushkrutinaha. 4 kinds of virtuous people worship me, God. The arth, distressed, the Jidnyasu, seeker of knowledge, Artharthi, seeker of wealth, and Jnani, wise, or Bharata Rishabha, or Arjuna. So the topic 4 is from verse number 16 to 19. 4 virtuous types who worship God. So who are these people? So there are 4 types. So it's a very interesting classification. Now human beings fall under 2 categories. There are those who seek God. You can use any word, supreme reality, higher values. And there are those who do not seek God or supreme reality at all. Their subtle intellect is totally clouded by their desires. So these are the people who are completely lost in the world. They live life mainly or only for sense gratification, acquire, enjoy. There is nothing more than that. But he is talking about the first type, that there are people who seek God, who have some kind of a concept of supreme, which is beyond all this. Now, there are 4 categories among people who seek God. Are you with me? See, the broad classification is what? There are people who don't seek God, seek higher values at all. And there are people who are definitely pursuing God in their own way. So there are 4 types of people in that. This is what he is giving us a list. Now, the first 3 types, their pursuit is entirely desire ridden. Jnani is a true seeker. Arth, Artharthi, and Jidnyasu. I'm going to explain. I'm just giving the introduction. So the first 3 types, they are totally self-centered. In the name of God, they are following something else. So the interest is personal. They have an axe to grind, either at physical level, emotional level, or intellectual level. Thought is not on the supreme reality. So in the name of God, they are pursuing something else. The word which we use is phalakami. Phala means fruit, kami meaning desire. So their pursuit is desire ridden for selfish reason. Now, in that, the first type is artharthi. Artharthi meaning those who seek wealth. So they may go to a church or a temple or a mosque to ask for something. Wealth meaning anything worldly, object or a being. So you may go to a temple or a church to ask, oh, I need a child, or I need twins, whatever your desires are. So you go there and there are people, I'm sure all of you know, I mean, years and years they go to a place of worship because they're not able to conceive a child. And the moment they get a child, they go, thank God. After that, bye-bye. Completely involved. So their pursuit begins with that, it ends with that. So in that sense, they are artharthi. Or you may go to a temple or a church or any place of worship because you want wealth. You want promotion. You want your family members to do well. You want reputation. You want this, you want that. Something you want. So in that sense, the word artharthi is used. There are people who go on a pilgrimage to ask for something. Or they make promise to God. If I get promotion, I will break 100 coconuts, or I will offer you a very good donation to a temple or wherever, or I will do some grand puja. I know one couple from America. When I was in India, I mean, I know them and they're not here, so therefore I hope not. It's nothing wrong. I'm giving you the example. So they flew from America last month. Yeah, that Kumbh Mela. I mean, it's the largest gathering of humanity in the world. Like you must have, read in the newspaper. It's like you go to Mecca, Medina, so like that. So a lot of people, they went from America, and Bhagavad Gita is not saying it is wrong. Why do they take a deep in the Ganges, holy Ganges? Because they believe all their sins will be washed off, or they have their own agenda, whatever they want. All my desires will be fulfilled. Or you may go to a church and light candles. Christians do that. I often given this example, like my immediate neighbor in Bombay, long time back, 30, 40 years back, I was just a child. So when I was in 4th or 5th grade, that lady, she was a devout Catholic. So she took me with her family, with her daughter, who was my age that time. We were in 4th grade. A very famous shrine on the outskirts of Bombay. And 2 days we stayed there. And she lit 30 candles. So that word is, I mean, the moment I hear 30, I remember that lady. Now, don't ask me why 30. It's an easy guess. Can anybody guess? Why 30 candles? See, if you understand that, you understood
30th birthday.
artharthi.
30th birthday. 30th birthday.
Anyone?
One day a week, or one day every day one candle for a month.
In half an hour, she lit those candles and we came back. It's not difficult.
1 minute.
Simple question. I'm not asking you a question from Bhagavad Gita. I mean, some answer you must give. Makaran, why 30 candles? He is in Goa, so he should know. Goa has all famous churches in India. She had 30 demands. In that, 35 were mine. I mean, I was a kid. I didn't know. She asked me, Amit, you must give your, what do you want? She only told me, okay, I must get good marks. You must do 5. For daughter, 5. For husband, 5. For her, 5. Neighbor, 1. So like that, she had collected 30 proper list. And when she offered a mass, it took that priest, I don't know, some 45 minutes to, it's an elaborate ritual. We were playing outside. So afterwards, she told us, your wish will be fulfilled. Bhagavad Gita is not saying it is wrong. See, selfishly you are approaching God. I want this, I want that. So it is called artharthi. Then second type of people, they are called arth. Arth meaning distressed. So they are riddled with worry and anxiety, stress and strain. And they find relief when they go to a church or a temple. At least nobody to disturb. Half an hour, 45 minutes, you sit there peacefully, nobody to bother you. I hope nobody of that category is attending here. I'm not saying it is wrong, but there could be few arts here. Problem at home, fights 1 hour, they will leave you alone. So they know you're doing something nice. In-person lecture is the best. You go, you attend, come back, 3 hours are assured. Nobody will bother you. So you are distressed, art meaning distressed. So you go to a place of worship for emotional satisfaction. Are you getting it? Not to pursue anything higher. So it's all selfish. It's all about you. It's all about me. And they get temporary solace from that. And then Jidnyasu. Jidnyasu meaning they are information hunters. That is all. They fulfill their intellectual curiosity. So they pursue knowledge as an end in itself. So you done Bhagavad Gita. When are you doing Upanishad? I heard you are doing Atma Bodha. When are you going to start Vedanta treatise? It's all about, they want more and more knowledge. So they get that satisfaction, intellectual satisfaction. So that in that sense, the word Jidnyasu is used. So these three types, their pursuit is self-centered. Number one, it ends with achieving limited goals. I get a son, you get satisfaction, it is over. So it is called as, such pursuit is called as self-centered utilitarian worshippers. It's a simple word. Self-centered, it's all about me. Utilitarian, you want something, worship. Self-centered utilitarian worship. So they don't understand that you get what you deserve in life, not what you desire. If you don't study, a student does not study and he prays and prays, can he get good marks? Simple example I'm giving you. A student who does not study at all is wasting his time. But religiously, he goes to a temple every Saturday. Siddhivinayak temple. Those who are from Bombay, they will know what I am talking about. Or Troy temple, Bharatiya temple, any temple, doesn't matter. Or some famous church you go, the student goes there religiously every week. Will he get good marks? Common sense. Nobody answering means a common sense. Why are you asking this question? You want to be mentally calm and composed, peaceful. By praying, can you get that? Just by praying? You're highly self-centered. So you are mentally agitated because of your selfishness. And you're praying to God, oh God, please, I want peace. I want harmony. How it is possible? You have never put efforts to evolve spiritually. It's not a joke. And you pray, oh God, please give me capacity to face challenges of life. You get what you deserve. If you have put efforts, automatically you get all this. So they don't understand that you get what you deserve in life, not what you desire. Due to innocent, they're innocent, they're ignorant. But jnani means wise person, meaning he is a true seeker. So, what kind of approach he has to spirituality? Self-oblivious, non-utilitarian worship. It sounds like a big word. It's a very simple word. I'm going to repeat it a couple of times. Self-oblivious, non-utilitarian worship. Self-oblivious, non-utilitarian worship, meaning there is no I there at all. The only goal is to find out your identity. The only goal is spiritual enlightenment, which is beyond body, mind, and intellect. It's like, again, go back to the dream and waking state. Who is a true dreamer? Who is a wise dreamer? Who has understood that he is a waker. And his only goal is to wake up. So he has understood the futility of the dream world. So similarly, a true seeker has no interest in gaining anything either at physical, emotional, or intellectual level. He uses body, mind, intellect, or spiritual practices, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, path of action, devotion, and knowledge, as means to an end. That is all. He also may go to a temple, he also may attend a lecture, but he is not lost in it. There is no selfish interest. So therefore it is called as self-oblivious. There is no utility value. I get this knowledge, I can lecture to people. If I get this knowledge, and I will do this, I will do that. It ceases to be a knowledge. You have some axe to grind. So therefore self-oblivious, non-utilitarian worship. If you understand that verse, is very word is very simple. So he uses body, mind, intellect, his personality, spiritual practices as means to an end. Jnani, a true seeker, he has what we call as mumukshatva, meaning he has understood the futility of pursuing this world. He has understood the true purpose of life. What is the true purpose of life? That I want to find my identity. And even when he goes through life's experiences, his thoughts are on the ultimate. So such a seeker he calls as a jnani. So, O Arjuna, 4 kinds of virtuous people worship me. See, he calls them virtuous because at least they are going in the direction of God. Other people, there is no concept of God at all. I mean, completely like demonic, totally lost. So at least there is some kind of awakening. So therefore, he calls them that they are good people. They are virtuous people. But if you understand with this explanation, the first 3 types, you cannot call them spiritual or religious people in the true sense of the term. Actually, they are not. They are masking their selfishness. So they are also approaching God. They are going towards God, but with the hidden agenda, or not even hidden agenda. There is a self-centered interest. So the entire pursuit is self-centered. But at least they have some concept of a supreme reality. They are willing to surrender to it and whatever. But Jnani, he is a true seeker. He has no personal agenda at all. There is no selfishness at all. He has only one fixation, that I want to gain my identity. Are you okay? Any doubts?
Amiji, I have a question. So, if the pursuit of the jnani wise one is to find the truth, isn't this also a selfish approach? I mean, I feel like that. Where do you cut the line here?
See, truth reality, divinity, you can use any word. It is beyond body, mind, intellect. It has got nothing to do with your personality. So what are you seeking? You're not seeking anything for your body, for your senses. You're not seeking anything for your emotions. You're not seeking anything for your intellect. So it is beyond your personality, it's beyond body, mind, intellect. That is where the truth lies. So therefore, it is not selfish. The word we use, selfish or self-centered, meaning when it has to do with your personality. So therefore, that this classification is very important. You want wealth, you want promotion, you want something worldly or emotional solace you want, or you want to satisfy your intellectual curiosity. So it is about your personality only. And what is being spiritual? When you liquidate your personality. So by default, it is not self-centered. It is opposite of self-centered. You okay with that?
Yes, thank you.
Group is okay?
Amitji, I have a question, or I guess it seems almost like stages to me. Because I didn't even know a few years ago what self-realization, that concept really even was.
Right.
So maybe it's just the ignorance, but I had to start somewhere, and it seems like it's not just one reason. It's almost like it's almost been stages that I've moved through.
No, you're right. See, therefore, right in the beginning, we said there are two types of people. One who don't approach God at all, meaning totally caught up in the world, right? Then there are people who have some kind of a concept, supreme reality, there is an ordainer, whatever it may be. There is some kind of awakening, but their intellect is not yet developed to understand the nitty-gritties of it, the essence of the entire pursuit. So therefore, they start with something. So it is okay. So to answer your question, it is a stage. It is far superior compared to people who have no concept at all. It's almost like an animal. When we magnify, we understand, right? So at least these are people, there is some kind of awakening, but they are not, there is no complete clarity. So they start with, they have changed their direction, which in itself is, it is good. It's not bad, but you can't stay put there. See, that's where the education comes. And a lot of people, they start there, they end there. You're going to a temple or a church, your whole life you are going there for what? With a list of demands. It's okay to begin with in your life, but whole life you are doing that, then where is progress? So to answer your question, yes, it is a stage, but you can't stagnate there. You can't stay put there. With this knowledge, you're supposed to evolve. So therefore, we said they're not spiritual. If you analyze with this explanation, isn't it? But it is better than people who have no concept, like Duskrutina in verse number 15. So compared to them, they are superior. But it's a stage. It's like a kindergarten. How can you remain in kindergarten whole life? Yes, kindergarten is required, but then you're supposed to move on, isn't it? So it is slow and steady, but you need to put efforts to grow, otherwise you will not grow. You will stay put there. Does it make sense? Anyone else?
I have another question, Amiji. Now,
Yeah, please.
so in terms of the evildoers, is it that because I guess I don't want to look at mental agitation as something bad like in general, but something like going, let's say, picking up on what Anna said with the stages, is it maybe meant also to use, mental agitation as a guide that I'm going into the wrong direction, and maybe look at what is this negative feeling telling me right now when I'm in a situation where the feeling is present and I feel it and I go through the mental agitation, rather than, labeling it as evil. I feel that's a harsh, let's say, statement. Using it to correct my direction in which I'm going, meaning it is a point that points me into, to say I can either change my belief in terms of the situation, or I can change my action to
Right.
go, to correct my direction that I'm going. So I feel like he's saying evil doers, but I feel like it's maybe not so beneficial to completely, get into the understanding a mental agitation is something bad.
No, so that's what I said earlier. Evil, not in the sense of unrighteous. That's not a context. Evil as compared to divinity. Divinity, there are zero mental agitations. It's a state of total peace, total happiness, absolute contentment, absolute serenity. That is divinity. So anything opposed to that is evil. So that's the context we are talking about. Okay, there is a pure sample of gold, like 100% pure gold. You add even 5% silver in that, it becomes impure. Isn't it? Somebody may say, no, I prefer that. Give me that. And at least there is 5% silver, but it's not pure gold. So any mental agitation is evil, is definitely, it is negative. How can it be positive? How can I have a little bit of disease? Is it not positive? So when I have a little bit of disease, I feel motivated to work. I have put on a little bit of weight. If I'm absolutely slim and trim, I don't feel inspired to go to the gym. Little bit of extra 15 pounds I have put on is good. It motivates me to be healthy. I mean, does it make sense? So from that context, you need to understand. Number one. Number two, yes, if you understand that mental agitations is something negative, then it becomes positive. So you have a point there. I need to get rid of my mental agitations, and that's the reason. So the way you are explaining, so he has done his job. Why should I be mentally agitated? Why should I go through stress, worry, anxiety for what? No, I will conquer my mental agitation. So if you understand it that way, definitely. So that awakening comes. I have put on 15 pounds weight. I need to knock off those extra 15 pounds. That awakening is good. But how many people go through that awakening? You know, so they suffer. So therefore, he says they sink lower and lower. So without knowledge, it is not possible. Knowledge makes you aware. And once you become aware of your whatever is happening to you, your negativities, you will put efforts. So you're right, you have a point. Any more doubts? What's number 17 we'll do next week? Oh, this time up 10:30. Anything not clear? Since we are having a lot of people are asking questions, so feel free if you have any doubts.
Vijay, in this line number 15, verse number 15, it says, "The evildoers, the deluded, the lowest of men do not seek me. They whose wisdom is destroyed by illusion follow the way of demons." We gain knowledge, and the knowledge is transformed into wisdom. Means from that you use the intellect to convert into wisdom. Is there any reason why this word wisdom is used instead of knowledge here? And then while you were explaining, you were saying you need to develop knowledge, right? So this wisdom is knowledge converted to wisdom, or what? That is the question here I have. Why wisdom? Why not knowledge? Because wisdom is the ultimate, right? Through which you can
Knowledge has got, when you say knowledge, it means wisdom. He is using the word wisdom. We have to explain what it means. You may have knowledge of all the scriptures, it has got no meaning. So there is no such thing called as, I apply this. I mean, if you're not applying these values, this knowledge, you don't have wisdom. It's understood. So knowledge means wisdom. It is understood. They are not explaining that. We are explaining. He is not saying knowledge, get knowledge into, convert into wisdom. If you have knowledge, assumption is you have wisdom. Just knowledge has got no meaning,
value.
isn't it?
Correct.
So we often say in philosophy, there is no, in Vedanta, there is no difference between theory and practice. You know that concept. There is no such thing called as theory and practice. If you know it, you practice it. If you're not practicing it, if you're not applying it, you don't know it. So, but I know I done entire Bhagavad Gita. Zero knowledge. So that applies here. So are we okay? Class is good?
Amitji, quick question.
Yes.
How to move from being a person who is seeking things for the purpose of just the knowledge itself, like you mentioned, and has no other higher end to it, to a person who actually has higher end and is taking knowledge just for going to the higher end?
No, see, whatever knowledge we are learning, you could just study it for intellectual curiosity. Is that what you are asking?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, then you become a scholar. You become a philosophy professor.
Yeah.
See, for example, simple concept I am giving you. All your actions, they should be backed by intellect, not by mind. You must have heard this
Yeah.
10 times. Correct.
Yeah.
No, you may master this concept. What is mind, what is intellect? We often explain that. Mind is feelings, emotions, likes and dislikes, whims and fancies. Intellect is nothing but your capacity to think, to reason, to analyze. So all your actions, they should be supervised by intellect.
Intellect.
Now you may master this concept, but when it comes to your own life, 101% of your actions are mind-based. But you know the concept. You're explaining it to others, to your family members, to your colleagues. But as far as you are concerned, I mean, what did you achieve? Nothing.
Yeah,
Or you have mastered the concept of illusion. You can explain beautifully with rope and a snake example.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you could be totally entangled in the world. So what did you achieve? So the whole approach is scholastic. So this knowledge is meant to be applied in our day-to-day life.
Does it also depend on sanskaras? Like if we build sanskaras and habits continuously to change, to rather than becoming a philosopher or a preacher, migrate to becoming somebody who
No,
thinks.
you're confusing. What is philosopher? I mean, there is a knowledge which we are learning.
Mhm.
And this knowledge, with study and reflection, you convert into wisdom.
Mm.
This is all is very simple. Shravana, Manana, these are the words we often use. Shravana meaning listening or reading. Manana is reflection. So you reflect on this knowledge, early hours of the morning, and slowly you absorb this knowledge given out by teachers and the books. And then you apply this knowledge in your life. So you may be in sports, you may be the president of a country, you may be a doctor, you may be a lawyer, you may be a student. This knowledge is meant for human beings. So what is your question? Forget about your past and all that. The moment you get this knowledge, slowly your personality changes. Your desires purify. So that's the concept. Shravana, Manana, you understand this. You understand these two words.
Yeah, yes.
Shravana meaning listening or reading.
Listening.
So no teacher can give you knowledge, wisdom. He can only give you knowledge.
Knowledge.
So when you acquire that knowledge with your own efforts, by your own study and reflection, you convert that into wisdom. So when you have wisdom, you live this knowledge, you apply it in your day-to-day life. So what is your question now?
That's all. Thanks, Amitji.
All right, so let's conclude for today, and we'll continue verse number 18, 19, the topic concludes. So we should be able to cover it next week. Have a good Sunday, all of you. Saturday.
Amitji. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amitji.
Thank you, Amiji.
Thank you, Amitji.
Thank you.
Thank you.